Oh, hey! Welcome back to another awesome episode of the Boston Chris podcast. Guys, it's Andie Kay Joyner week here on the show, and I am super excited to get into it with Andie Kay here on the show for the first time ever. Man, I have been a huge fan of Andie Kay's for as long as I can remember, not only of her music, but of her incredible story of being a survivor and persevering through some of the toughest times any person can go through in her journey of life. Before we get into Andie Kay a little more in depth and get into our in-depth, candid conversation with her, I want you guys to hit that like button right now if you could, wherever you're watching. That will help us do more. And of course, if you want to see more in-depth conversations like the one you have found, you can subscribe or follow wherever you are watching. And also, comment down below after you're done watching your favorite part of this episode. Let me tell you a little bit about Andie Kay. Andie Kay Joyner is a singer-songwriter performer from Texas who began performing live shows at the age of 10 with her family band. She was an honorary member of the Stone Mountain Bluegrass Band at 12 and then started backing other bands as a backup and guest lead singer at the age of 13. She has credits as a backup harmony singer on countless recordings, including Max Stalling, Mark David Manders, Nate Kipp, Tommy Alverson, Terry Razor, and many more. She formed her own band with her childhood friend Heather Stalling and recorded 2 albums while touring the country with their full band Blacktop Gypsy. Now, after surviving UT Southwestern Medical Center's first ever life-saving heart-liver transplant in 2016, she recovered, regained her voice, and began her solo career in 2018. And guys, we are so excited to chat with Andie Kay about all of this and much more. What a great conversation we had with Andie Kay Joyner here on the show today. So without any further ado, I'm not going to make you wait anymore. Let's get into it with Andie Kay.
Hey everybody, I'm Marty Dodson. Thanks for tuning in to Boston Chris podcast. Hope you enjoyed it.
Hey guys, we are back with another awesome episode of the Boston Chris podcast, and man, there are a lot of like watershed moments that I have on this show, and this is one of them. I've been a huge fan of this lady's for at least 10 years. Andie Kay Joyner is my guest today, and for those that are following along with the show, you know that we have gotten to talk to a lot of my biggest likes in the music business, from Andie Kay and Matt Hillier and the Stallings and Courtney Patton and all of these folks that I've been following for years and years, and finally getting to chat with them is just a huge moment. So thank you for coming on today.
Well, thank you for asking me. I know we've been trying to do this for a long time.
Yeah, really long time. I want to show you, just before we get started, I got your Whirlwind right here, which I got this from Heather at one of her shows, and just a huge fan of the records, both of them, the first and the second, and I can't wait to chat about that for sure.
Of course.
So again, Andie Kay Joyner here for the first time, and we're gonna break the ice first. So what are your favorite drinks right now? That's my icebreaker question.
My favorite drinks, pretty much this right here. It's Crazy Water #3. It has all of it has good stuff in it. You know, I'm a big water drinker, and I kind of like H2O these days.
Yeah,
too.
A lot of people are digging that. Yeah, it's kind of like the coffee alternative now, right?
Yes, and their coffee is pretty good, but I'm a little bit of a coffee snob. I like to get my coffee from H-E-B, the Texas pecan in particular. And if we just catch ourselves out of it, H-E-B is 40 minutes from me.
Wow.
And it's not that far at all to go for some good coffee.
That's not far for Texas. Let's put it that way. Okay.
No, it's not far at all.
I can't even tell you where the closest H-E-B is to me. So, and go ahead.
You're in Alba?
So I am in Alba. Yeah, I'm very close to where you grew up.
Yeah, absolutely. Big city of Edgewood.
Edgewood. That's right. So what? I mean, what was it like growing up in the big city of Edgewood?
Oh, wow. Well, there was not a lot to do.
Yeah.
We had a Dairy Queen and we had the Country Kitchen, and that was about it. Yeah, the Dairy Queen was pretty good though.
Yeah. In the small town of Edgewood, it's literally like a blinking light on the Highway 80.
Pretty much. I think they have two now.
Yeah,
So
maybe two
they're
blinking lights
stepping
now.
it up a little bit, and they're getting a brand new school. And I think the population sign or the city limit sign, the population still says 1,284.
Yeah,
And
you
I
can't
don't
convince
really,
me of that.
no, I don't believe that anymore. But I like that, that some things aren't changing there, even if it's just the city limit sign.
So for those listeners and people that are watching from outside the area, what is it like in East Texas as a young person?
Oh, well, that's all I knew.
Yeah,
And, but, I had every chance I got to go to Dallas was, you know, big and exciting. And I did that a lot. My dad was a 38-year veteran Dallas fireman. And he would take me on some mornings and well, he would drop me off at my aunt's house, who lived in Dallas, on the way to his fire station. So, and she was always taking me places and showing me different things. And yeah, my aunt was my dad's older sister, and she was a very classy lady, and we had a lot of fun together. Yeah.
and so just so folks know that may not be familiar with the geography, Edgewood is really worlds away from Dallas, but only 90 minutes, really, right?
Yeah, it's now, these days it doesn't seem like it's so far apart, but yeah, it's definitely two different places.
Yeah. But it's just crazy how like I live in Alba. It's an Alba address, but I'm physically in a town called Golden, which I'm
Yeah.
sure you're very familiar with.
Yes.
Home of Casey Musgraves, of course. But
Yes.
so that's where I'm living right now, and man, you can drive to Dallas in an hour and 15 minutes, really, if you're quick about it, and a
Yeah.
lot of people are here. And yet just such a culture change between those two things. Um, as a small town East Texas girl, how's music finding you as a youngster?
How is music? I'm sorry.
Finding you, how is music getting into your world as a youngster?
My family. Yeah, my mom was a musician and a singer, and my stepdad has had every instrument you could think of in the house, and they took me to a lot of. I was influenced a lot. I mean, probably my first influences. Well, my first influences were, just being in the car with my mom and my dad, and hearing her sing. And then Canton, Texas, had a big bluegrass festival every year, and my stepdad made it a point to go every year.
Yeah.
And Bill Monroe, Jim and Jesse, Ralph Stanley, just all of those people, all of those greats were some of my first live music influences. I was probably about 5 years old the first time I went to. It's right there on the first Monday
Yep.
grounds, and it was just it was very influential
There's
for me.
always been kind of a bluegrass stamp to your music, hasn't there? It's kind of been there on the periphery.
It's there. It's there. I think even as a teenager, I didn't really have that high lonesome sound that that
Yeah.
I heard when I heard Ralph Stanley sing or Alison Krauss, and then but yes, it's definitely in my DNA.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's part of the cool thing about podcasting, especially when you're talking to, uber creative people like yourself, like just hearing their hodgepodge of influences that come out almost involuntarily through their music and their sound, right?
Yeah.
Like, a lot of times you don't even realize it's happening, and that's the cool thing about listening and really becoming fans of music, because and then finding out the stories behind it. Now, you mentioned that, music is finding you through your parents, and I mean, your parents or your family had a family band as well early on too, right? So
Yes.
tell us a bit about that, because I mean, at 10 years old, you're playing out, doing shows already, right?
Well, yeah, starting in my little hometown of Edgewood. So yeah, we had different events, local events, that they held at the Edgewood Historical Society grounds, and also in the gym there at the school. Anytime you were going to have an event where a lot of people were going to attend, it was usually in the big gym. We had a little gym and a big gym, and the big gym is where they held the Hoot Nanny every year, put on by the Edgewood Historical Society. And, they had different acts, and my stepdad was involved with them, and he was also a square dance caller. So, so he brought a lot of the entertainment with the square dancers, and yeah, that was my debut in front of my hometown at 10 years old with my mom on a stand-up bass fiddle and my stepdad on guitar, and just little 4 foot tall me singing a trio song. I was very heavily influenced at the time by Dolly Parton, Emmylou, and Linda Ronstadt's group, the trio. Yeah, and I still am. I think it's one of the best collaborations.
Man, you're not lying. Yeah, I haven't heard the trio in a long time. Yeah, I love that you're influenced by that, and I can see that as well. Again, very bluegrass, square dance, salt of the earth kind of music, right?
Yes.
I love that you're also at 12. Fast forward 2 years, which is probably a world of difference for a young person, but it's only 2 years looking back. You become an honorary member of the Stone Mountain Bluegrass Band at 12 years old. What is this? How'd this happen? And what is this doing for you as a youngster? Like, this has to be eye-opening, right?
It's just opened up, a whole other world. And I was familiar with them because they would always be playing these bluegrass festivals. And the guitar player lived in, he was a local. And even though this band had played all over the world, Grand Ole Opry, backed Bill Monroe, I don't even know if I could have grasped it at that age, but yeah, the guitar player was living in Wills Point, Texas, and he was friends and had worked with my stepdad before. And so when my mom and my stepdad would have a party, they would have the band come over and play, and I just had to be right in the middle of everything, that the grown were doing. Always. I had FOMO at a very early age. I had to be in the middle of everything, exciting. I mean, it was music. It was exciting to me, and I wanted to be right in the middle of it. And I was, and I would just sing along with them. And I guess they found out that this little annoying kid could carry a tune, and invited me to come, sing, be a special guest, and then just play regularly with them. I mean, they had Mary Land was the mandolin player's wife, who was Mitchell Land, and a very popular mandolin player. And sometimes she wouldn't be able to go out on the road, so they would invite my mom to play.
Wow.
And so my mom was, part-time honorary member herself.
So I want to make sure I've got this straight so far. So your mom was an upright bass player, a fiddle player, and now a mandolin player.
Not a fiddle player,
okay.
A bass fiddle.
I got you.
Bass fiddle.
Yeah, I got you.
Name for it, upright bass, a doghouse bass. That's what a lot of people called it, and my stepdad called it a bass fiddle a lot.
So I got you now. I understand. So basically, she was playing the bass with a bow as well.
Yeah, she played with her fingers, no bow.
Okay, all right. Very cool, because I know there are some doghouse players that will play both. They'll play fingers, slap bass. They'll play with the bow.
Oh,
Yeah,
yeah, it all. It's
crazy talented folks out there. So
absolutely.
you mentioned that they noticed that you could carry a tune and sing a little bit. So is that the notice early on as your vocals, or are you also like picking up instrumentation along the way as well?
Oh, I still at this time I still would not consider myself a guitar player.
Right.
This is my instrument, and but you know, my stepdad did his best in teaching me some chords so I could, you know, he said if you're going to sing, you're going to have to pick up a guitar, and you know, I was very fortunate to live in a house where I had my pick of guitars and different instruments. I always wanted to learn how to play the mandolin, and for my 14th birthday, my stepdad gave me a Kentucky mandolin. I still, you know, I begged Heather forever to teach me how, and she'd teach me a few chords here and there too, and yeah, that I never really mastered that at all. But you know, there's always time.
Well, a lot of people out there think that anything with, as long as you can play something with strings, you should be able to play everything with strings. And boy, it ain't that way, is it?
It is not.
No.
And,
Yeah.
The mandolin wasn't my first pick. You know, my stepdad said, "Here, I'll teach you a few chords on bass fiddle," and that was way too big. And then I carried a banjo all over jam sessions at a Bluegrass festival in Oklahoma once, and it only took one festival for me to realize that I did not want to play banjo because it was heavy.
Yeah. Yeah, that's a very, very tough instrument to master as well.
It really is.
Yeah.
It really is. So, yeah, I just focused on what came naturally, which was singing, and what I love to do, and play a few chords on the guitar.
I love how, you know, you're talking about vocals as an instrument. That's a very popular subject that I love to talk about on this show because I feel like it's very overshadowed. And so I try to give flowers to that because it is a very important aspect to delivering music to people. And if you don't understand the vocal ability as an instrument, then, you know, your delivery can be kind of short. So first of all, let's talk a little bit about education. Are you getting an education on the voice as well? Like, is there somebody mentoring you on how to become a better deliverer of lyrics, or is it just something you're learning organically?
I wish that I had had some kind of training. I just I credit my mother. I always listened to her and loved singing with her in the car and whatever came on the radio. You know, we were in her Ford LTD at 4 years old, and I just remember singing Lion Eyes, anything Roseanne Cash, you know, whatever was playing on the radio at the time. You know, I mean, I'm sure she had an 8-track player in there, but I don't really remember that too much. But yeah, there was a lot of Alabama and you know, all that early '80s country, and so she was definitely a trainer, and I didn't even know it. And because I recognized that she wasn't singing, she was singing beautifully, but I didn't. I noticed there was something different about. She's not singing online like the singer.
Yeah.
And I said, that sounds good. I remember turning to her and saying, that sounds good, but what are you doing over there? And she said, I'm singing the harmony parts. And I just said, oh, okay. So I would just mimic her and mimic what was on the radio.
Wow.
And before too long, you know, she said, you're doing it, you know, just drive her picking me up from school or my babysitter or, you know, driving to, you know, wherever we were going. It wasn't very far out of the Edgewood or Van Zandt County city limits.
Man, you know, I know you're probably very humble, but I got to tell you, as a fan of yours, I think you're one of the best singers in Texas.
my
Honest to
goodness.
God, I do say that, and it's not just because of how great you are, out front as a front person and a solo artist, but yeah, the harmony aspect to your voice is just some of the best work I've ever heard. And so hearing you
Really,
talk about having no education of that and just learning to be a mimic and kind of bringing that down from your mom, and I love how you tell the story how you hear your mom doing harmonies and your ears perk up. What is that, right?
yes,
So
yeah.
what is the seeking out process like from that moment? Like, because obviously something perked you up, you got a renewed interest in a different part of the vocal ability. So how are
Yeah.
you chasing that interest now?
Well, I was her father was a Baptist preacher.
Okay.
So, and they didn't really live near, but we would visit them a lot. And then my stepdad, he thought it was important that we go to the Edgewood First Baptist Church there in town. And, back then, I mean, I'm sure it's still the same way, but, you know, the whole congregation sang. And I would pick up different parts, that were in the choir.
Yeah.
And then I was invited to be in a choir in church at a young age, and so I would hear a lot of it, and gospel harmonies and quartets, and I could pick out every part. I couldn't tell you if it was a first, third, or fifth, or I could tell you if it was a bass note.
Yeah.
And I still, am, just I can't teach you or tell you anything. I can just do, so, but I can hear it. I can't tell you what note that is, but I've been blessed with a good ear, and I know if it's right or wrong. So, but yeah, I was heavily influenced by church, and I was heavily influenced by MTV, and I would
Well,
just,
what a far divide there between two things, right?
yeah, I'm
Yeah.
all over the board,
I love
really.
that. Yeah.
I lived for Saturday mornings, and at a very young age, it was coloring books, Saturday morning cartoons, and then it was time for the MTV's Top 20 countdown, and I would get out my spiral notebook, and I would start, from 20 to the number one song of the week, and you just could not. My friends, they were coming over. I want to swim. Let's go ride bikes. I was in my room watching MTV until I
Wow.
found the number one song. So I was very heavily influenced by a lot of Madonna and Whitney Houston. I wanted to be Whitney Houston when I was about 7 years old. And that was
Are you trying to mimic those artists as well, vocally?
no, no, no. That's just what I like to listen to. Back then, I still do. I'm an '80s girl,
Yeah.
so I love good music. I don't like to put labels on anything, although I know the difference in a lot of them. But um, I like it all if it's good.
Good stuff. So you talked about being able to know something by ear, but you also have that that intrepid ability to take it from something you heard and then replicate it vocally as well. It's just it's more than just a good ear, I think, right?
Yeah. Well, it's I don't know what it is. I can't put my finger on it, but I'm just um, glad to be able to do something that I enjoy. Yeah.
So
More,
as you're getting older, I feel like a lot of times when you're a young artist, when I mean young artist, like pre-16, it's almost like a different game, right? Like you're more noticed because of your age. You have more opportunities because of your age. But then you become an adult, and things are changing, not just vocally, but you got hormonal changes.
mhm.
You're gonna have a change in attention. It happens to every single artist. I feel you go from a young artist to an adult artist, and people aren't saying, "Well, you're good for your age." Right,
Yeah.
like it's just so. What's that transition period like for you as an artist? Kind of going from a kid artist to an adult artist.
Oh, well, it's that's a good question. It's something that I've been doing since I was a kid, and luckily I've been able to do it, professionally,
Yeah.
since I was a kid, and there were a few pauses in between, but I'm just fortunate to be able to still do it. I mean, first of all, I'm fortunate to be alive, and we can get to that later.
Yeah.
Um, but I, yeah, I mean, when I was a kid, it just, oh, listen, she's only 12 years old. Listen to her, and then you get to be 20, 25, and you're just a regular old person.
Just the same as everybody else, right? Like just yeah.
Yes. Yeah.
I know that transition can be really hard for an artist, right? Because
Yeah.
like you have a lot of eyeballs on you because of your age, which is really unfair, by the way. And
Yeah.
then, I mean,
Well, when
really,
you're a kid, you have a lot of people telling you what you what they think you need to do,
yep,
and I'm sure I've missed out on a lot of opportunities, but I just rolled with the flow every day and what I needed to do for
yeah,
myself, and that meant there for several years I felt like I needed to get a corporate job.
yeah,
I needed a salary. I needed health insurance. I needed a 401k. I needed, I didn't, there was a time where I didn't really know how I could progress professionally, being, in the
yeah.
entertainment
It's hard for sure.
industry.
Yeah,
It really was. When I was going to college, I took a job with a dance, like a corporate band gig, and it paid for my transportation. It paid for a lot of college books, and I was like, "Yeah, I'm gonna go sing in Dallas, for a few hours and make some weekend money and pay my way through my junior college."
yeah.
So, um, and then yeah, the corporate world came after that, and but I mean, I was always fine with being a backup singer. I love singing behind other artists. I love being part of a band.
Yeah,
I was scared to go out on my own,
yeah.
because I'd always. I mean, I would say that I did have a solo career as a teenager, but I joined bands later, and I just loved the family, and I loved everybody's talent, and just everything about it.
Man, you're
Really,
unlocking a lot of stuff on my outline here. I'm trying to figure out which way to go. I'm gonna keep it
yeah,
with vocals though here for a second. Um,
sure,
the art of harmony is such an intriguing thing to me, and you having grown up in the same time period that I have, and that's the
yeah,
80s and 90s of music. Um, harmony was just such a driven part of our fandom, wasn't it? Growing up, right, with especially in country music. How much did
absolutely.
that influence you later on? To become a professional backup singer, a harmony, person on records and stuff like that. Did that influence you to do that kind of stuff?
Uh, I just have two words. Emmylou Harris. She can just. She influenced me,
Yeah,
yes, and the beauty that she would put on all of these different artists. And I mean, she's a giant as a solo vocalist
yeah,
herself, but her work, um, as being a guest on other artists' songs was just. I mean, she was a queen. She still is.
yeah.
She's amazing, and um, I get bored hearing myself sing melody. I want to sing with other people. So
You've been
that's
on so many classic albums in Texas and from other artists. You know that's right. Like from Max and Tommy Alverson and Mark David Manders. I
yeah.
mean, you've been on so many records. That's going to be pretty surreal, right? Like just having been asked by another artist to participate.
Absolutely, that they think enough of
Sure.
me and what I do that, I was just, I mean, I sing like I, breathe. So it's just always something that has been with me. And for someone to take notice of it and adding me to something as big as their project, that it was just, it's always an honor. It's
really funny because I'm like a liner note nerd, right? Like I'm that guy.
yeah,
Like if I like a song, I want to know who's on it. Yeah,
I
and
love that.
I used to ask all the time to artists, who's that doing harmony on a song, especially here in Texas. And Andie Kay, that's Andie Kay, that's Andie Kay, all the time. And I'm just like, oh my gosh, you are on so many songs. And you talk about Emmylou Harris, you're almost that person in Texas. Like you
Oh,
are
wow.
asked, so honestly, you're asked a lot to do
Wow.
to supply those harmonies, and you're just to me, you're an iconic background singer here in Texas. And
Thank you so much.
you're welcome. We talked about Blacktop Gypsy earlier, one of my favorite bands ever, and this is Whirlwind.
Yeah.
This is, I think, 2014 or 2011 or so. It's
September of 2012.
okay. I was close. I knew it was somewhere in there.
Yeah.
So
Almost
we did talk with Heather a little bit about Blacktop Gypsy on the show, and I would be remiss if I didn't chat with you as well, because I mean, you guys were the blood force behind that band. Tell us how the band came to be and kind of why that collaboration worked so well between you and Heather.
Well, Heather and I have been friends for a long time. I met her through her son's father. I was in a band with him when I was 13, and I'm sure you know who he is, Woody Woodruff. He's just a force in all. He's guitar, vocals, songwriting. He's got it all, and so we became friends when we were in a band together, all of us. And I was 15, so we've been friends for 10 or 15 years now. So
Your secret's safe with me.
So yeah, I mean, everybody else, all my friends in high school were saying, "Are you coming to the game tonight? We got a party going on." And I said, "I know, I'm singing. I lived for our band, our Saturday night band, and we would play, and then we would go to Heather's and play until we got tired. So it was so we were already." Friends, and then later on, she and I we were backing different bands. Mark David Manders being one of those. Our brother Mark, and so we spent a lot of time on the road with him. I went when I could. At the time I had a 40+ hour job with Pier 1 Imports as their administrative assistant and for their corporate office. And so, but I was able to go on the weekends, with Mark and all of that. And his band really are the ones, the guys in his band at the time were the ones that were giving us the confidence. We would play our songs that we would write on the road and late night hotel jams, and really they really are the ones that gave us the confidence and saying, why don't you start your own, what are you doing here? Start your own band. And it's just, she and I both were backing, supporting other people.
Yeah, I was going to say,
So
you
we
guys
just-
were both known as support or, peripheral pieces to bands.
Right.
Yeah, and then you guys just, I love that somebody mentioned y'all should start your own band. Because,
Yes.
man, you guys
We would
just,
I don't know if we would have ever had the courage. I mean, I think we would have eventually, but I'm thankful for those guys that
Yeah.
would say, you can do this. You can do this. So, and with just a little, enough crazy to have the desire to start your own band.
well, man, at least once a week, I always say, man, I'm always saying stuff like, here's to another Blacktop Gypsy era, right? Like, I just want to see one more. I would love to see you guys come back. But
Yeah.
what's it like
We
from a
do that every now and then.
yeah? What's it like from a confidence standpoint for you guys, for both of you girls? You know, like being peripheral pieces. Now you're kind of the focus of the band, even though neither of your names is on the band name.
No, we did
But
not
you are
want.
the focus. So
We didn't want our pictures
right?
on the cover, and because she and I both for years had been, part of a band
Right.
family, and that was our mindset going into it. We didn't want our faces. We didn't want, we didn't want to be the chick singing band, and we just wanted to be respected, as a band.
So that was there, that seeking of respect, not as a female fronted band, but just as a band. Period.
Yes.
Yeah, I love that because that is very, very important, especially in Texas, I think. Why do you think it worked so well, Blacktop Gypsy?
Oh, well, I don't know. You might have to ask somebody else that, but I just, it was a great time for Texas music. And, lots of festivals. And, Heather and I worked hard in booking. We had no clue when we started out, just, we just, that was in the days of MySpace. And, we would just find any way to find the booking contact for any venue that, we thought that, being in other bands, we had an idea of where to play, and who to ask. We were already established friends with people like Larry Joe Taylor and Tommy Alverson, and these are big festivals, in this state. And Port Davis Pub. That was our first live gig as the Blacktop Gypsy.
Wow.
February 6th, 2006, I believe. Wow. It might have been February 9th, maybe. Maybe it was February 9th, 2006. But we had already had a rapport and friendships with venue owners. And so I think that helped us out a lot. And just friends and, and other musicians and people, Mark or Max or Tommy asking us to join them or be their supporting act or,
I think you guys were different too, right? Like it was just a different sound at the time than was being supplied by anybody else, whether you were female or not.
Heather and I, both together and individually, I think I think all of our different influences came into play. And being the same age and she has different influences that also, being best friends and we're family. They became some of mine, and I just think that we didn't know what we were doing when we were writing. We just got the guitars out and got the notepad out and just sat and just did what came to our minds. And we were definitely heavily influenced by all kinds of genres. And I just think that's you can hear all of that in our style.
Awesome stuff. You alluded to writing as well. Before we get into writing, Heather actually emailed me today. So
she did.
She's got
a coming up.
Huh?
She's got a birthday coming up.
Yep.
Yeah.
But she said that I needed to ask you about something. So here we go.
Oh, she did.
She did. I'm going to read you the email, and then I'll just let you take over, because there's not really a question here, so I'm not sure what she's trying to drive at here. So I'll just let you take over. She said, I see you have Andie Kay coming up on the show. You got to ask her about Rick Springfield. She and her husband went with us to the concert last month. Hope all is well with you.
Oh, that's awesome. That is Heather's boyfriend.
Yeah,
And
yeah.
now, I can see why. I can see why Heather was in the Rick
You get it
Springfield
now,
fan
right?
club. But
Uh,
yeah, I think Rick Springfield is is still her boyfriend, but I think John Waite might be mine because he played right before Rick Springfield, and yeah, Max and my husband Rich and Heather and I we Wong Chunged.
let's
Yeah,
go. All right. All right.
yeah. I
Let's.
did not know that I liked Wing Chun so much, but man, I have a T-shirt now.
It's official. If you've got the T-shirt, that makes it official, I think.
Oh, she's hilarious.
So what's you mentioned you and Heather writing some with Blacktop Gypsy, and we haven't really talked about songwriting at all today. So what's writing look like for you? Are you writing all along? Because you're a singer first, you've already kind of self-admitted not being much of a musician. So how is songwriting finding you, and what's the evolution of that over time?
Oh, well, I think I got away from it for a while. There for a while, I feel like I was quiet. I had lots of stuff to say, but it was always I was always a co-writer. I wrote some songs, in the early years, as a teenager. Every time a boyfriend would do me wrong, I would just, I wasn't old enough to go track him down at the bars.
Yeah, yeah.
So I would just get my notepad out and my pen and just write all of my feelings down on that. So it did start at an early age, and then yeah, Heather and I started doing it on the way to other gigs. When we played with Ed, I would always take a notepad with me, and so we just we spent a lot of time together on the road, and that was my writing partner.
Yeah.
And we have notebooks and folders and napkins, and I mean, she still has it. It's in the super secret songwriting notebook or backpack. It's in the backpack, yeah. So so I didn't know if I could do it, with other people. I have another friend of mine that I write with occasionally, and but just and so I need to credit my friend Matt Hillier for inviting me into this songwriting club, because I need discipline and a deadline. I can put everything before sitting down. Do I have time to sit down with my guitar and write write a song today? Because I have my dogs, I have my husband, I have groceries, I have to get ready for these gigs, I have laundry, I have house cleaning, and I can put all of that before, but this is my job, so I know how important it is. And here lately, Matt has given me discipline and a deadline,
Yeah.
which I need, and it's given. It's fun, and it's getting a lot of all of these things that I want to say out, and music is inside of my soul, and I've always thought that, getting, what is more awkward than getting up on a stage under lights in front of people and basically
Bearing your soul.
sharing your diary
Yeah.
with them. And I was kind of self-conscious about it, and some feelings I don't want to sit down and with my feelings,
Yeah.
sometimes about, bad things that have happened, or, sad things that have happened and all of that. So I think, I've just, it's very personal to me and very spiritual. But, then I decided, I mean, I'm getting my spirituality from, you know, from other songwriters. So what I need to,
Yeah.
in confidence, I just didn't think I was good enough. Or, um, as these people that I look up to. I mean,
Imposter syndrome.
songwriters like Merle Haggard. I
Yeah.
mean, can I really? I don't know if I want the disappointment that I can't sit down and write a song like Merle Haggard.
That's the
Can.
worst thing you can do is compare yourself to other writers.
Yeah,
Yeah.
because I'm a fan.
Yep.
First and foremost, I'm a fan of these people: Dolly Parton and Merle Haggard and Christine McVie and Willie Nelson and
I mean,
all of these.
you're as good as you get. You're never going to write a song as good as they can, right? I mean, that's just the way it is. But like, you always tell yourself, when you tell yourself that is when you're really beating yourself up. Why even bother? You're never going to write a song as good as them. Why even bother, right?
But it is fun, and I've always been a writer, whether it be fictional stories or my diary. I've always written a journal, and when I have time for that. So
Well, you talked about two things that that songwriters always struggle with, and that's A, time management, finding time to write, and B, being vulnerable over and over and over and over and over and over again to an audience. Because if you are a professional artist, that's what you have to do. And those are two things that are very difficult for songwriters: finding the time to write and making sure that you don't beat yourself up for finding the time to write, because your internal voice is going to tell you that you should be doing something else, right? You could be more productive doing something else.
right.
And then, of course, go ahead.
And I have all of the jobs.
Yeah.
Even with Blacktop Gypsy, Heather and I both. We were our booking agents, administrative assistants,
100% indie. Yeah.
bookkeepers, merchandise managers, band, road managers, hotels, all of it. We've always done it ourselves.
Yeah.
And I'm now being a solo artist. It's all me at this computer.
What's that like going into a solo artist?
Self out. Here I am. I'm still emailing venues, going, book my band.
Yeah.
Book me, take a chance on me. It's just,
you shouldn't have to do that anymore. People should know who you are by now. By God,
that's not
yeah, I know you're not saying
personality,
that.
but over the years I've realized that that's I got to do it.
Yep. So what is that like? Kind of, I mean, you were self-described as kind of being a background player, whether it's singing or being in bands, being a peripheral piece. Now you're the solo artist. Now you're the one with the voice. You're out front. You're doing all of those things yourself. That's got to be a struggle in itself, right?
I'm just used to it, so I mean, I wouldn't say it's a struggle. I mean, it is for me, because I feel, my energy levels these days are not where they were. But it's just what I do. I wake up and get on the computer and get my calendar out and say, okay, what makes sense for me, and what makes sense for my family too. I have 3 dogs now, and a husband who's a real estate agent, and so what makes sense professionally, financially, and what makes me happy.
Yeah.
Too.
Let me ask you this. We haven't really touched on it yet. We can touch on it briefly if you want. In 2016, you became the first ever of something nobody ever wants to be the first ever of, and that is the first ever person to survive a heart-liver transplant, which is just, I mean, I've got chills even thinking about that.
I wasn't the first one who survived one. I was the first successful one at UT Southwestern in Dallas.
Okay.
And, I was their guinea pig. And thankfully, since I received my gift, they've had a handful of heart and liver combined transplants. yeah, very
And
happy.
that's got to be amazing to know that you were kind of a trailblazer in that, and others are alive because of that. I mean, I can't even imagine kind of the pressure of knowing that in your mind.
It's just an amazing medical team at UT Southwestern
Yeah.
Medical Center. They're just they just do unbelievable, life-changing miracles. You know, that's what they do. They perform miracles.
So
And
that happened in 2016, and you started your solo career in 2018. So, as
yes,
somebody who's reading that, I'm curious if we can draw a line between, this massive thing that happened in your life. Maybe you're dealing with mortality issues. I imagine you are. I would be. I imagine anybody would, really struggling with living and knowing if you're going to be around or not. And then you come out the other side of that, and now you're a solo artist. So is there a line that we can draw between those two things?
well, I just I didn't think that I was going to be able to even get my voice back.
Yeah.
It took me a year to heal. I mean, I was trying to sing in the hospital because I didn't know what I was going to do without, you know, being a singer.
It's
And
everything you've ever known. Yeah, everything you've ever known.
exactly.
Yeah.
So I remember, every time I didn't want to do it in front of everybody and constantly people in my room. So if I would find a chance for all of the nurses and all of my visitors to be gone, I would try it. And it was just very frustrating.
Is that because
And,
singing is living for you? Like, what's the point of being alive if I can't sing? Yeah.
uh, I mean, I know that I would find joy in other things, and I do, but singing is yeah, it's how I identify myself, and if that part of myself is not there, then um, I didn't know what I was going to do. I didn't know if all of this was going to be damaged. But I had a nurse. She wasn't a nurse. She was my tech, and she is just as important as the nurses and surgeons there. But her name was Mara, and she would always come in my room, check on me, and say, "How you doing, little mama?" I mean, she was the first person who washed my hair in ICU, and she said, "What's?" She walked in one day and she said, "What's wrong?" Because she could tell that I was upset, and I said, "I'm just worried that I'm not going to get my voice back." And she she just looked at me serious, right off the bat. She said, "Well, maybe you will, maybe you won't, but look at you. You weren't supposed to be here, and you're alive, And I said, "Yeah, you got a point, but there was a but there,
Yeah, of course.
So, but she did put it in perspective for me, and I was grateful to. I mean, more. I mean, I'm grateful. Is not even a big enough word, but yeah, I could see what she was saying about be grateful whether you have a voice or not, whether you can go on singing or not. But there's always a but in the back of my mind, But yeah, I'll be happy and I'll find joy in living. But
Hmm.
I really need to get my voice back. Just
What was that
um,
process like, getting your voice back? Because you're working on it every chance you get. Um,
I
is
was.
there a moment that you just know it's there again, and it was just like a kind of moment?
Um, and I don't remember if was a moment, but I mean, to this day, I don't think that I'm 100% back, and I'm fine with that. I'm just, I want to have a voice that people like to listen to. I don't want to be doing this for nothing, but I still feel that I'm not 100% back. But there for a while, I thought maybe I just wanted to get it checked out. So I would go to all of the specialists at UT Southwestern, and they did a few different tests, and they stuck a camera all the way
Yeah.
down, and they said, your instrument looks beautiful. There's no scarred tissue. There's nothing, because I was intubated several times.
Yeah.
I had an emergency surgery, and I was intubated again. And so I remember telling the surgeons before, I mean, I was very sick before my surgery, but all of the adrenaline and all of that, I told the surgeons, beforehand, please don't touch my vocal cords. I need them. So, but I was so happy to know that my only problem was dehydration. And, so the doctor said that she said, do you want to see a picture of your instrument? And I said, okay, sure. And kind of wish that I hadn't, because vocal cords aren't very pretty.
No, they're not at all. They're not at all. Oh, man.
But I was thrilled to know that there wasn't any scar tissue or any kind of nicks in there.
So you're almost 10 years removed from this surgery. What's the prognosis? Everything's supposed to be okay now, right?
I get a good report all the time, every year. Yeah.
This started because of something called hemochromatosis, right?
Yes. Yes, it's a genetic blood disorder where your body produces too much iron, a deadly amount of iron. And I was misdiagnosed in 2004 at Baylor Hospital in Dallas, where I was born, and who I trusted with everything, because I saw several family members go in there with, issues that you didn't think that they were going to overcome, and they came out on the other side. Mm-hmm. So I trusted them with everything. And they did not, their only problem is that they weren't very educated about it in 2004. They knew what it was. They didn't give me a good enough reason as to why a 27-year-old woman had this disorder that didn't pop up until women, were 50, 55. Mm-hmm. They didn't really ask a lot of questions there. They just told me that to do phlebotomies, regular phlebotomies, and that everything would be back to normal someday. It was just they explained it to me as just having some kind of deficiency that with treatment, everything would go back to normal.
And it was damage from that on your organs that caused the need for a transplant, right?
Yes.
And that's damage that's not happening anymore since the transplant? They have it under control?
My new liver has prevented me from any future treatment at this time. So I still have it because it's a genetic blood disorder, but no complications. There's some things that I won't ever get back,
Yeah.
But no complications, no phlebotomy. Now, my husband is a different story. He has hemochromatosis as well, and he keeps in maintenance by doing regular phlebotomies. So, but I'm very fortunate that that's something that at this time I don't see that in my future anymore for the regular phlebotomies.
Well, I remember the
danger.
Yeah. I was a fan of yours, obviously, when you were going through this. So, as a fan, man, it was tough to watch you go through all of that. I can't imagine what it was like being the person going through all that, but just being on the outside, yeah, I imagine. I just got one last subject before we move into some more lighthearted stuff. I want to talk about one of your newest singles, "Couldn't Do Nothing Right," and obviously Texas legend Tommy Alverson is so important to all of us in the community. And from what I understand, number one, this was his last ever recording, and number two, you have taken over his weekly residency since he has passed as well, right? So maybe chat a little bit about the importance of Tommy on you as a person and just on your career in general.
Oh, Tommy Alverson is a giant.
Yeah.
I've been friends with him since I was in my 20s. The other day with some friends, he comes up all the time, you know, and because we have a lot of mutual friends, and I kind of compared him the other day as like being a college buddy, you know, because you know the time that I was supposed to be, you know, at a university, I was hanging out and singing with Tommy and all of our other friends. So we've been friends for a long time, and didn't get to see each other as often, you know. Like all of my musician friends, that was the good thing about festivals, because, or you know, when you were the supporting act for some of our friends, you know, that was really the only time that we would get to see them and hang out with each other. So so it was always, you know, a family gathering. It was like a family reunion when all of our friends showed up and played on the same bill. But here recently, you know, since we lived in the same town, I, you know, see him more often. And yeah, he was just a longtime buddy and mentor and writing buddy, you know, and just we always kept in touch. So he's missed.
Yeah.
Very much so.
I think the best description I've ever heard you just gave.
Everybody.
He was a giant. I couldn't agree more than that. I mean, he's part of the fabric of Texas, right? Like you can name a few people like Lloyd Maines and Larry Joe and Walt Wilkins and people that are
Rusty
really Rusty Ware, yes.
Another great friend of ours that unfortunately he's in the band In the Sky now since 2009. But I was a fan of his before I even met him, you know, and I didn't know it because I was such a Bonnie Raitt fan. Mm-hmm. And you know, Don't It Make You Want to Dance was one of my regular songs that I would sing at all of these different shows when I was a kid and all of that. We're getting off subject a little bit.
No, it's fine. It's just such a blessing. It's a blessing to be part of this community, isn't it? Like just being able to be here and understand the gravity of things, right? Like Tommy Alverson, if you live outside of Texas and you look up Wikipedia pages and biographies and all of that, you may not find much about Tommy, but from right here in the state of Texas, we all know the impact he had on so many people here in the state.
Incredible.
Basically. Yeah.
Impact.
Yeah.
Yes.
All
Absolutely.
right, let's get into some lighthearted stuff with Andie Kay, and then we'll get her off of here. I appreciate you so much for hanging out with me today for a little while. I know how busy you are.
Thank you so much. It's my pleasure.
So these are just like little segments that we put out on Instagram and TikToks and things like that to create buzz for the interview. I think you'll like them. First one's called Did You Know? Can you tell us something your fans may not know about you?
Oh, my goodness. Well, that they don't know about me. I feel like I'm an open book. So that's a hard question. I know everybody knows that I'm Elvis Presley's biggest fan.
I don't know. Do you have an Elvis tattoo?
I don't.
All right. Well, then I think I have you beat then.
Oh my gosh, you and Matt Hillier both have me beat. Okay, I'm getting one now. Let me ask my transplant team to see if it's okay. Yeah. He's all over my walls. If that counts, he's you know, it should be my green room in there. But
my mom probably has about $10,000 worth of Elvis memorabilia.
Oh my word!
Yeah, we used to live in a double wide trailer, and one half of it was all decorated Elvis. We called it the Memphis Wing.
Oh, so it's a beautiful room, isn't it?
Yeah, it's pretty dope.
Yeah, if it has Elvis's face all over it, then it's a beautiful room.
So yeah, I named my son after Elvis. His initials are TCB.
Wow, what's his name?
Toby Christopher Barnes. And then I found out years later when I got the tattoo, it says TCB. It's, you know, that TCB logo, taking care of business. I found out years later, somebody looked at it and said, oh, those are your kids' names, Toby, Cassie, and Brittany.
Oh.
I did not mean that. That was completely unintended.
Meant to be.
Exactly. So pretty dope stuff there. All right,
Yeah.
next segment is called Mount Rushmore. Who is on your Mount Rushmore of Texas artists? Best Texas artists ever. Four best.
Willie Nelson, George Jones, Guy Clark. Oh, the fourth one. Let's see. Is Patsy Cline from Texas?
No, I don't think she is, actually.
Oh, then I'm going to say Rusty Weir.
Okay, perfect. All right, next segment is called What the Heck? This is 5 rapid-fire questions. Just tell me the first thing that hits your brain. Don't change your mind.
Okay.
All right, number 1 is which superpower do you wish you had?
To fly.
Okay. What word do you have a hard time pronouncing?
Brewery. Did I say it?
Yes! Brewery. That is a difficult
First
word.
time that I got that right.
Do you know the songwriter Rob Redwine?
I do.
All right, so out of Fort Worth, yeah.
I don't know if I've met him before.
That would be my wife's answer to that question.
Oh, okay.
She cannot.
Yeah.
She always says Wob Wedwine.
Warm red wine.
Yeah.
Oh, I got that one too.
All right, number 3. If a penguin walked into your room right now wearing a sombrero, why do you think he's there and what's he doing?
He wants me to play. He wants me to play a Freddie Fender song.
Nice. Another great Texas artist. All right.
Yeah.
Number 4. What is your best curse word alternative?
Oh, shoot is not a good one. It's not a good one. Couldn't think of any others because I usually say the real thing.
Right. All right. Number 5. How long do you wait after finishing your food before going back for seconds?
Seconds?
So,
Just a few seconds?
okay. All right. So seconds for seconds.
Yeah.
All right. Next segment is called One Artist. Who is one artist besides yourself you wish the whole world knew about?
Oh, the whole world. The whole world? Max Stalin.
Nice.
Yeah.
Good stuff, man. That's a great answer, and I completely agree. Oh,
Yeah,
man. I'm a big Max fan.
I always loved Max before he became my brother.
Isn't that crazy? Like, your
Yeah.
best friend married him, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah. I highly approve of my best friend's
Choice.
husband.
Very cool.
Yeah.
All right, next one's called Fly on the Wall. This is kind of a new segment. Can you think of a room in history, whether it's music related or not, that you wish you were a fly on the wall in?
A room. Anywhere in Austin, Texas, music scene in the 70s.
Nice.
Yeah.
That could get very psychedelic right there. Ooh.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's why I'm just going to stay on the wall and listen and not partake.
Yeah, there was a lot of history in Austin in those years, so that's a very good choice. All right,
Yeah.
next one's called Biggest Lesson. This should be interesting coming from you. What's the biggest lesson you've learned directly from music?
The biggest lesson that I have learned from music, goodness, that's a hard one. I learn new things all the time. I think lately, the lesson that I have learned is be a bigger supporter of yourself.
I love that so much.
Yeah.
Man,
Be a
you know,
bigger
it's so,
supporter of yourself. Yeah.
I love that.
Promote yourself. Yeah.
Yeah, because human beings want to be humble, and I feel like the opposite of humility is selfishness, right? So
Yes.
looking out for number one, you can convince yourself that is being selfish, and it's not always selfish to do that.
Yeah. Being, I mean, I would say that I'm a introverted extrovert, maybe, or maybe,
That's called an ambivert, by the way. Ambivert.
Oh, okay. Thank
Yeah.
you. Yeah. See, I love learning new words too.
Yeah. That's when you're
But,
very
yeah, I
introverted
wouldn't
and you
say that
have
I'm shy.
you have
but,
parts of your life where you have to be an extrovert.
Exactly.
Yep.
Yeah, I'm very, very okay with being at home with my husband and my dogs, but only for a little while, and then I'm ready to get out with my
Yep.
people again.
I understand.
I live for it. I'm excited. I mean, by Wednesday, I'm ready. To I only need this much downtime, and then I'm ready to go again.
Yeah.
But the confidence level and tooting my own horn, if I can say that, has not really been a strong
Yeah.
suit for me. But I've come to realize that, and I think, becoming a solo artist again, that, this is the product. I am the product that if I want to work, if I want to perform, if I want to sing to a crowd, which I love, despite my personality, then I'm going to have to be a bigger supporter of myself.
Yourself. Yep.
Self product.
I love that so much. What a great answer. All right. Next segment's called Moment of Gravity. Looking back on your life, can you kind of pinpoint an event or a time that kind of changed everything and led you on the path that you ended up on?
Oh, I think we talked about it earlier, the confidence that I got from my peers and saying, you can do this, you can start your own band with your best friend. That was a big defining moment that, several moments. It took a lot of, encouragement.
I love that you picked out the formation of Blacktop Gypsy as kind of your answer for that. I love that so much, because that's not an early moment. That's kind of a mid moment, right? Like middle of life moment.
Yeah.
I love that so much. All right, next one. I got two more. Next one's called Grateful. We talked a little bit about this earlier, gratefulness, and you said that grateful is not a big enough word for how you felt after your surgery. But this segment is, what are the three things you are most grateful for?
I'm grateful for my family, my husband, my little furry kids. I'm grateful for music. I'm grateful for my donor, because without him, everything is because of him. I would have never met my husband if I didn't have, his gifts. I'm grateful for my relationship that I have with my donor's mother and his family. I'm grateful for science and those who devote their lives to studying medicine, and because without God, without UT Southwestern Medical Center, and without Stephen Dominy, I wouldn't be here to continue and find find my way.
Puts everything in perspective, doesn't it?
It really does. So yes, I'm grateful for my music family, because they're a strong force. Our Texas music family they go above and beyond. Yeah. Their hearts are bigger than this state.
Yeah.
It's
honestly, yeah, it's just, man, I can't even, there's not enough words to say about that. Just
no, and
talking
thank you.
about, yeah.
We'll never, gratitude, grateful, thank you. I mean, I've been telling everybody for 9 years that there's got to be a better, bigger word than that.
Yeah, I love that. All right, last segment might be the hardest one for you to answer today. It's called, Who Do You Think You Are? Who is Andie Kay Joyner?
Who am I? I am just a little simple girl from Edgewood, Texas, who wanted to get out and see the world. And I'm a dog mom. I think I'm an okay wife.
We'll interview him next and ask him.
an okay friend, and just a lover of life and music. And I'm definitely a romantic, and I I find romance in everything.
Yep, I love it. Andie, thank you so much for being here. I'm going to tell folks where they can follow along with you. It's AndieKayJoyner.com. I am going to spell that out for y'all because Joyner can be spelled two different ways. So can Andie. So can Kay, really. It's A-N-D-I-E. Yeah, AndieKayJoyner.com. You can find all kinds of stuff there from her bio, her music. You can get there. You'll find out where her shows are. She has a merch store there, as well as contact information. To follow along on social media on X, it's at Andie Kay Joyner. YouTube is Andie Kay Joyner. Facebook is Andie Kay Joyner Music. And Instagram is Andie_K_Joyner. So follow along everywhere that you can. And Andie, how would you tell people to best support you as an artist?
Oh, just share my music, come out to shows, and just send me a message and let me know where. I mean, performing live is just, it's everything about the business. So if there's a venue out there that you'd like to see myself or my band, I have a band of incredible musicians. We are Andie Kay and the Borrowed Angels. If there's a venue that you would like to see us play, just I'm open to all of that, and I think the best support is just word of mouth, and sharing on. I guess it's social media. These days is very important. The good, bad, and the ugly of it all. But,
so for those of you who are listening as well and tuning into this, this actually comes out on September 20th. And on that same day, you will be in East Texas in Ben Wheeler at the Forge.
Yes, so, at the Forge Bar and Grill in Ben Wheeler, Texas. Yeah.
I might have to figure out a way of going to that. I don't know if I'll be able to because I am so stoked I get to be the guest of the Righteous Brothers the day before that in Hot Springs.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. So we're on the guest list for the Righteous Brothers in Hot Springs.
How cool is that?
That is super cool, man. But I've also never seen you live, so I might have to...
Yeah.
I might have to get my ass home so I can catch that show as well. But I also know that you play there quite often. So
yeah.
But yeah, thank you so much for doing this. I appreciate it.
Let me know. I'll save you a seat.
Sure. I sure will.
Hey, this is Joe Cuellar. I want to thank y'all for tuning in to the Boston Chris Show.